What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to you with that quick hot topic analysis. As we know, trade deadline is coming, and the Indiana Pacers made a move, to get rid of their coach last year that they didn't like, to bring in a championship caliber coach and Rick Carlisle. And they had a lot of injuries, and they got off to a bad start, and they haven't been able to go on a long run that can turn their season around. Obviously, they still in that play-in conversation, but they haven't been able to put together consistent wins to really make a legitimate push to be a playoff team. And we knew a couple months ago that they may be in a rebuild phase, or they may have to make a shakeup, to get this team going in a different direction. So the Cavaliers will acquire Caris Levert from the Pacers for Ricky Rubio in a 2022 first round pick. This may look like the Pacers are going in that rebuild direction, which we really didn't know what they was going to do, as the trade deadline is only Thursday and they literally made this move on Sunday. So we got to see what the rest of what they're going to do. So the Cavaliers, like I said, will be acquiring Caris LeVert in the 2020 second round pick via the Miami Heat, so not their own. And from Indiana, they will be getting Ricky Rubio, a lottery protected 22 first round pick, a 2022 second round pick via the Rockets, who are one of the worst teams in the league. So that could be a good second round pick, early one, I should say, and a 2027 second round pick, which could be years from now, and they could trade it in the future. So we may not know who that player will be, where it will be at in the draft, but it may not be as scary because it is a second round pick, not a first round pick, which could really be iffy or a role player at best usually. So as you know, Rubio will be out for the rest of the season, and they do not have Colin Sexton either for the rest of the season. So adding Caris LeVert does give them a guard that can give them scoring slash some type of ball handling slash playmaking ability alongside of Garland, as they are trying to lock up a playoff spot. As we know, the Cavaliers have been better than expected. They have been a playoff team for the majority of the season. Darius Garland is an all-star. Jared Allen is in that all-star conversation, and he has been a productive big. Evan Mobley been rookie of the year conversation, has been NBA ready, has produced at a high level so far um, this season, and they have been good defensively. And Caris LeVert isn't a great defender, but he is a guy that can get hot. He is a guy that can put pressure on the defense. He is a guy that can break down the defense. He is a guy that can get guys open shots like, a Darius Garland, a Kevin Love, or a Jetty Osman, or even give some opportunities for Jared Allen and Mobley and other guys to be able to get easy buckets around the rim. And this is a help for him too. He went to the net. He went to Pacers to prove that he can be a valuable player, and he proved to be more of a hybrid guy that can start if you need him to, or come off the bench and be a double digit impact guy. Hasn't been a great shooter. Still hasn't been a great 3-point shooter or a great spot up 3-point shooter. Hasn't been an efficient scorer from the jump shot area, and really can be hot and cold. Like 1 minute he can hit everything. Most games he's hot, hit or miss. But when you look at the fact that he's better than having Rubio or Sexton because they're not playing at all, he's upgrade in that sense. You did give up a couple picks, but this team has a lot of young talent. This team is, tired of being in a rebuild mode, and they're trying to, capitalize on this advantage, this situation where they can literally be a playoff team that can, be respectable. Caris LeVert isn't on a crazy contract, so it's not like they got, a guy that's a super max or a max player. His contract is tradable. Caris LeVert is a role player type of guy. He's not overpaid. He is a guy that has been injury prone too, which has been one of the biggest problems with his career too. And that's probably the biggest thing. Like, how many games can he play? Can he stay healthy for a long stretch? And can he really fit with this team, as they are young? Their coach do have a good system in place, a good style in place. They can be a little funky offensively, where guys don't know what to do, or don't know how to attack, and having another weapon out there that can give them a little bit of an injection, whether he's get hot or whether he just make guys' jobs easier because he can create and break down the defense a little bit. It's something that they didn't have since Rubio and Sexton is out, for the rest of the season. So Rubio was having an improved season. He really was a big reason why this team, was performing well. And now that both of them gone, getting a guy like Caris is pretty good for them. And then you do look at it from the Pacers' perspective, getting off his contract, getting more picks that can help you in the future, get more role players, get more, decent players. That you can pick from in the draft, and you can trade them for other players that you might want, or, trade up in the draft to get a guy that you want because you have multiple picks now. And, that helps, especially when you're trying to rebuild and you got guys that you feel that can be special for this team. You get more chances to get guys that you like, or trade them for guys that you want, or trade them for a guy that you want in the draft because you have abundance of picks that you can package together, to get, a particular guy in the draft that you normally couldn't get because you didn't have the assets or the things that teams want to require that position to be able to be available for you to get. So I like it for the Pacers. I like it for the Cavaliers in their current situation. And it does kind of make you wonder what they do with Sexton now. Like, is it a priority to bring him back? Is because he injured, he ain't gonna be worth as much money. He might be willing to take much less. I was one of them people on a Sexton bandwagon where how much is he worth? Like, Colin Sexton wasn't a huge difference maker for this team. Even this year, when they start winning, they didn't have Colin Sexton. When they had him healthy, he put up the best numbers, but they didn't win a lot of games. And he's not a great defender. He doesn't make guys better, but he is a solid scorer and shooter. And that's it. So how much money is he worth? What is his value? What can he really bring to this team? Is he more of a bench guy? Is he a spark plug guy? Is he a guy that you can use, let him play a couple more games, trade him for a guy that you may need, trade him for a better fit? They got to figure it out because obviously, he is young. He is a guy that is an NBA caliber player, a starting potential caliber player, but also not the ideal fit or the player that they really needed him to be for this team to be successful. But he is still a valuable player in his league because he is a quality player that actually has a skill set in the game that is, legit in the league, and he has proven it, since he's been a rookie that he can really be a legitimate player in his league. So, the future for the Cavaliers is bright. They coach really set, some good seeds, got them playing hard, changed their mentality, got them defending, got them playing and believing in each other. And the team got hit with a lot of, bad luck this year, but they didn't complain, they didn't whine, they didn't get angry. They just kept, trusting and believing and going out there doing all they can to win. And that's why they have had a successful season in one of the toughest years in the Eastern Conference in a long time. And they have been one of the best teams the whole year from the beginning to now. And now it's just about closing. And the best way to close is get the best roster that you can during, buyout season and the trade deadline, and get the best roster you can and just grind out the season, stay as healthy as you can. And that gives you the best opportunity also to win in the postseason because you got the guys that can develop, you got the guys that can produce, and you got the guys you can trust, and you got guys that believe in what they can do because they did it all season, and you let it all ride in the playoffs, and at the end of the day, you live with the result. So ultimately, I like what the Cavaliers did. I ultimately understand what the Pacers did because what's the point of having all this talent when you're not winning games? Even last year, they had a lot of talent, but they didn't make the playoffs. This year, they're worse than they was last year. And they got a lot of guys that actually have some value. They got a lot of guys that is borderline all-star caliber. But what's the point of having them all on the same team when they're not playing well together? They don't fit well together. And on top of that, they're not winning. That's the biggest problem with this team. They have a lot of talent, but it's not really producing anything when it comes to system, style of play, or winning games. And that's why they're choosing to go in a different direction. So we'll see what they get throughout the rest of this trade deadline period to Thursday. We'll see who they trade, who they try to get, what pieces they're going to try to get. Do they get a young player? Do they go for a high draft pick? We'll see, but I feel like Caris Levert should have been the first one to go because he is a guy that hasn't been what they wanted or needed him to be, but he also is a guy that's on a good contract and is a guy that can produce, at a pretty decent level for an NBA player. And, he's also a guy that wasn't exactly what they wanted or thought that he can possibly be for them. So I understand why they went in a different direction. And Duarte fits better. He actually gives them size, similar size, but he gives them a guy that can hit a three, hit a jump shot consistently, and doesn't really need the ball to be effective either, and can play with the ball a little bit and better off the ball than Caris Levert. So he's an ideal, better fit for what they're trying to do. And he's younger, and he's on a rookie contract. And you need guys that can just blend in instead of guys that want to stand out. And I think Duarte does that while being younger and cheaper and a better shooter. And Caris Levert give you more of a Warren type of Holiday type of scoring type of field, and really helping this team really fit together and mesh well. And on top of that, you got Brogdon to be your ball handler slash playmaker slash penetrator anyway. And you just paid him a extension this season when the season started, and obviously that's your primary decision maker and ball handler. And the problem with that is Brogdon is injury prone, and so is Levert. So I don't know if you want to invest a lot of money in a backcourt that can't, play well together and produce wins, and on top of that, don't stay on the court together. That's a problem. So getting rid of one of them was the solution. Now it's trying to figure out what are you going to do with this team, and what direction you're going to really try to, commit to and go forward with when you look at it from the Indiana Pacer organization perspective. So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the night. The weekend is over. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis signing out. Keep hooping. Keep your heads up. See y'all tomorrow. Stay blessed.